This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Alex Walker, the CEO of East Star Resources, following news that the company have commissioned a mineral resource estimate for their copper VMS project, Verkhuba, in Kazakhstan. Thank you very much for joining us today. Alex, how are you?
Good, thank you, Mark, and thanks once again for having me.
So this comes off the back of all that drilling you've been doing to prove that historical data, doesn't it? And you've got what you need now to actually go ahead and produce that JORC inferred resource.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's the culmination of a number of things, actually. At the start of last year, in March 2023, we put out what we derived to be a JORC exploration target, which was from more than 42,000 meters of drilling. But the work that was done for that was all desktop work. Essentially, we took historical maps and we georeferenced them, and then we digitized that data. It was quite a lot of work. Digitized that data, and we said, basically, is the Verkhuba deposit interesting? Is it worth continuing to spend money on? And the answer was a resounding yes. And so in a combination of that, we did more field work. We did geological traverses, quite detailed ones. So we actually found 70 of the drill collars of the 97 drill collars that were used in that modeling. So we were able to get a much better georeference for those in terms of literally where they are on the ground. We did a LiDAR topographical survey as well, which gives you really intricate detail. I mean, we're talking mine level detail on the topography, and so that's been able to really inform that georeferencing as well, and of course, potential mine planning. And then we also, as you mentioned, did drilling. And so we were able to verify the historical drill data, compare the lithologies, compare the grades, and make sure there's copper where we thought it was. And there was a resounding yes on that as well. And so what we're actually seeing from our drill data is thicker intersections than what we had previously. And so that's all informed this updated mineral resource estimate, which we've received now internally. And we've discussed it with our competent person, AMC Consultants, and we've said, yes, this data is of the appropriate quality to convert to a JORC inferred resource. So it's a huge step for us.
Yes, that is good. Okay, that's good. So it's going to take about a month, as I said, as mentioned in the RNS there. You want it ready for the field season, and then drilling in the upcoming field season will focus on further resource definition to convert that open pit area to a JORC indicated, because of course, I guess this one, is going to be an inferred. So you're going to be getting indicated, by the end of the field season maybe, is that right?
That's absolutely the plan. Yeah. Indicated, of course, is the level that you need to be able to produce your first economic studies. Yeah. So what we're looking at in particular is focusing on the open pit sections of the deposit. So if we can convert that to indicated resources, which is a spacing of around 50, 60 meters between drill holes, then we should be able to do a JORC, a scoping study, or depending on the data in our processing methods, potentially a pre-feasibility study. So once again, within the next 12 months, not only will we go from from inferred to indicated, but we'll be able to wrap some legitimate economic figures around what the potential value of the project is. In addition to what we've seen already, of course, from AMC, which put out some initial framework numbers for their first exploration target.
So that drilling that you'd hope to do this field season will enable that indicated JORC resource. And then when would you look to be getting the scoping study started? What sort of timeline are we looking there and work required? I noticed from the RNS you intend to drill other VMS targets within the whole Rudny Altai license as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, the scoping study can really begin, throughout the course of the drilling. The major part of the scoping study, or the long lead time, if you want to call it that, is the drilling itself and the conversion. So we need to do the drilling. We need to analyze the core, cut the core, get it sent for assay and get those drill results. Only once that's done can we redo the resource model to get an indicated resource, and then that model will inform the the scoping study. But all of the other work behind the scoping study can continue in earnest, throughout that process, as long as what we're seeing in the core is what we have seen in the past and what we continue to hope to see in the future. So that is something that we believe we can deliver within 2024. Obviously, we've got some strict timeframes on that, but it's important to note it's actually not a lot of drilling, particularly for the open pit. The open pit's only expected to go down to about 100 meters. So these drill holes really are only going to be 100, maximum 150 meter drill holes.
Okay.
We do want to test the continuity of the underground. It's not something we've really talked about, but certainly from the modeling that we've done, it looks like some pretty some very good potential for underground mining as well. If the continuity holds up as the open pit has, then there could be 2 to 3 times or more the resource available to mine underground, which would seriously extend the mine life, of course, and the valuation. So that's really important to get a handle on that as well, and like we said, to inform the scoping study or pre-feasibility study. I realise I didn't quite touch on your comment about testing other targets, but that's exactly right. Verkhuba is a small thumbprint, albeit a really exciting deposit, but it's still a small thumbprint on more than 700 square kilometres of licenses that we've got in the Rudna-Altai belt. We've spent 2 years working up additional targets from heliborne EM surveys, mapping, sampling, and so on, and that refining work has continued. We expect to be doing a little bit more at the start of the field season, but very much expect to have somewhere between 3 and 5 drill targets ready for testing this year. So any one of those, could add significant upside to what we hope to deliver in Verkhuba, which is serious high-grade tons of copper. So it's all very exciting.
Okay, excellent. Well, it certainly sounds like it's going to be a very busy year for East Star Resources. Of course, we've spoken before, and you potentially have 3 programs going on throughout the course of the field season here across the other projects and deposits that the company has. You can get that inferred resource out within a month. You've already seen it internally, but it'd be good to see that officially to the market, and then getting into that drilling shortly after to get to the indicated category, and then of course getting into the scoping study. So I'm looking very much forward to following how things go this year. But thank you very much for your time today, Alex Walker, CEO of East Star Resources.
Thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.